Hey YouTube, this is Gracie and welcome to Mini Card Mondays. That's right, this is my new section of my video where I show how to make your very own mini Disneybounding greeting cards. Now I'm still continuing with my collection of characters from Peter Pan, so if you guys are interested in seeing any of the other characters, I will leave a link to the playlist at the end of this video, so stay tuned. Today's card, mini card in particular, is Disneybounding as Tock from Peter Pan, the crocodile that makes Captain Hook. So I'm going to show you guys how to make that today. Some of the products that I used is some Tim Holtz Distress Oxide in Cracked Pistachio. I also used a bunch of these little pearl or teardrop inks that are from these ones are from Dewdrop, and then I also used a Memento one, and I'm just going to basically show you guys how to use a bunch of those together. And then I also used one of my favorite Copic pens. This one is in BG10 in Cool Shadow. And then I'm also showing you guys how to use an embossing folder, and then also some small new products that I got. So let's get started. Let me move these aside and show you guys what my inspiration was behind the card. So obviously Tock is a crocodile, so I wanted to do something with like mermaid scales and some sort of like teeth shape. So that's kind of what I came up with here by using this bunting or banner stamps here and die cuts, and then I used an embossing folder to get the mermaid scales on the back that you see here. And then I did the sentiment on this particular die cut, in which I used in one of my older videos for, I believe it was something from Aladdin. Oh yeah, the Cave of Wonders, because I liked the fact that this has like shaped almost like teeth or like scales in this case. So that is from Spellbinders, Nestabilities, and these are the Petite Scalloped ovals large, and this is the size that I used, which is, well, you can't tell, it's one of the smaller ones. I think it's the second smallest one, not the smallest, but the second smallest one. And then for the embossing folder, I used this one here, which is from Lifestyle Crafts. And then I also did the inks in all of those little dewdrops and the Memento dewdrops. I guess they're all Memento. Anyway. And then, so I also included this gold ribbon, also because it's a nod to Captain Hook. That's kind of what my thought process was in that. And obviously all the colors are in greens and blues and crocodile colors. So I used a green piece of cardstock on the back of that. On the inside of the card, I did some really cool washi tape. This is the chevron washi tape, and it's in the color lime. This is 26 feet, and this was gifted to my mom, actually, by one of her really good friends, Janet. So Janet, if you're watching this, hey, thank you so much. I'm already using some of that stuff that you gave us. Thank you. So I just put that on the bottom. I just thought that was kind of cute. And then on the back side, I did my G stamp in pretty much all of these dewdrop inks. And I just took my stamp, which I don't have in front of me right now, and I just layered all of these colors onto the stamp and then inked it onto the back of the card. So there you have it. Let's get started and show you guys how I made this. So obviously the card size is originally 5.5 by 4, and I cut it down the middle at approximately 2 3/4, and that's how I ended up getting this size card. So basically you'll want to cut down your next layer, which happens to be this cool crocodile green. It's almost like a moss green. I think on camera it's showing as more like a marker green, but it's more of like a moss green. And I'll give you the dimensions in the description box down below, so definitely check that out. You'll want to cut down a thick piece of white cardstock, just slightly smaller than this size, and you'll want to run that through the embossing folder sideways. So you're going to want to put your white piece of cardstock, not this green one, in your embossing folder like this and then run it through. So that way you get your embossed image like this. Now after that, you're going to want to use your dewdrop inks and your distress oxide, and it'll come out to look something like this. So I got it started for us today. I'm going to show you guys a little bit more on how to finish that off as fast as I can. So the very first step I did was I took the distress oxide and I took a Q-tip, which I have here, and I just literally dabbed that onto the pad itself. And then I wanted to use this color in these little U shapes. So I'm just going to rub that in, and I really don't mind that it's super messy, because as you'll find out, it ends up looking really nice and blended. Actually, you can see it here. And so the messiness really doesn't matter. The fact that it wasn't in the lines, or it was actually touching the lines, bothered me at first. But then I realized, you know, it's gonna turn out great in the end. And you can do this, you know, with a little bit more precision if you really don't like it that way, and that's okay. So I'm literally just rubbing that in there as much as I want. I'm really just doing it by, you know, whatever feels good. Whatever makes me happy is how I'm doing it, and that's what's important, right? So just going to finish rubbing that in. Sorry, I'm trying to go as quick as I can so this doesn't take forever. But I wanted you guys to see, you know, what the process was in this. The process that I took. So we're gonna put that aside, and then I believe the next color that I used was, I did the Versa Magic, sorry, Dewdrop. This is, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read it, Key Lime. It's super bright. It's really hard to read that label. And because it has the perfect dewdrop shape, I use this bottom part to kind of go in to the little nooks and crannies here, so you can kind of see how I did that. I just literally like rub it in there. And again, I don't care that it's going to get into these other spots. And then I use the tip of it into the tip of the little shape here. And again, just rubbed it. So you can kind of see the coverage that it gives. It's almost like a chalky coverage, which is really cool. And then again, I'm just going and putting the correct shape in the correct area. It's kind of like what you learned when you were in kindergarten. Putting the round peg in the round hole, and the square peg in the square hole. And we're just literally rubbing that all up in there. And just kind of, you know, liberally putting that on there. And that's what it's going to look like so far. Just a lot of really pretty greens. And then the next color I used was this Oasis Green, which is like a blue-green. It's kind of cool color. We've used this a lot, as you can see. And this one, I just wanted to get it on the actual U's that are the raised edges of the U's. So I'm just going over it and brushing over it lightly so that the pressure doesn't get too much inside the U shapes, but instead just rubs on those little raised edges. That way you get that darker color on the edges, but the Distress Oxide on the inside of it. It's kind of similar in color, but that's okay. It actually does start to show a little bit darker, so it's kind of cool. The next color I used was the Memento Bamboo Leaves. Now this one, as you can see, all these like crazy weird like mistakes, quote unquote mistakes, but I actually did that on purpose because I thought it looked kind of cool. So I'm literally just doing it at random, just hitting the actual card. Not too hard, that was a mistake, but that's okay, it still looks cool. And I don't know why I like it, I just like it. It's not an actual effect or meant to look like anything, I just thought it looked cool. It was a happy mistake. And then I took the Pearlescent Lavender color, which is one that I used in my Monsters Inc. Get Well Soon card. So if you guys are interested in seeing a Monsters Inc. inspired card, I'm going to leave some links to that at the end of this as well. So as you can see here, I used the purple in the bottom of the U shapes here, and I did that by using the bottom of the ink pad. So I'm just going into the corners and pressing only on the edge of the stamp pad against the edge of that U, which I hope you could see there. So I'm literally just pressing it wherever I want it to go, and it comes out like that. Okay, so we're gonna go through and do that on all of them really quickly. Oop, that was a little bit crazy. Let's fix that. Now, I actually did this sitting down, so let's see if I could get in here real quick. I hope you guys can see that. And like I said, I'm just using the edge, and I'm trying to go into the bottom of the U. Now this one I'm doing a little bit heavier than all the other ones, but I actually think it looks kind of cool too. So again, another happy mistake. I'm gonna go through and do that on all of them now that I've kind of started to make it darker. So let's see, I think that's all of them. Oh, I got some of the pad behind it there. That's okay. That's what a wet wipe is for. Clean that up. Air that out. Let's see. Dry it up. So there you go. There is that top part of your card. And what you're going to want to do next is put some liquid glue on the back of it, because you'll want it to get into all those little nooks and crannies. And we're going to glue that on top of our moss green piece of cardstock, like so. And then just going to flip it over and place that onto the green cardstock. So you can see there how fun all those colors are together. And the next thing you're going to want to do is cut out your banners. Now the banners are from, let's see, Blue Skies, and this is from Fawn, and this is the die cut that goes along with the banner. So I stamped out a few of these to show you guys. So I stamped out a couple of them, and then basically what you're going to want to do is line up your die cut on top like this, and then run that through the die cut machine. And this is kind of what it will end up looking like as you're die cutting it. The whole piece will just kind of pop out, and it will look like this. So these are the two banners that I cut out. And then all I did was took my Copic pen in the Cool Shadow, and I just did a little triangle inside the little triangles. So I'll show you guys how I did that. And I used the felt tip end there. This is my favorite end. It blends everything, and it just looks more natural. So you can kind of see I'm just going around the edges inside the black lines, just to add a little bit more color and make it look a little bit more like teeth. And then what you're going to want to do is take your pot dots or square foam dots and place them on the back side of these, because you're going to want to add a layered look and raise those teeth up a little bit higher. And then all I did was just place this one in the upper left hand corner from pretty much corner to corner, and then press down firmly. And so let's show you guys how to use these guys. They're sticky on both sides, and then we're just going to place them down one at a time here. Press, press, press. And then you just peel off the backing, which is just this little piece of paper. And then let's go ahead and place that down at the bottom left hand corner, like so. Then the next piece you'll want to cut out is your little scalloped edges, the one from Spellbinders, Nestabilities. And I did that on white cardstock once again. And then we're going to stamp our sentiment, which is from the last stamp set that I just used on my last video, Heartfelt Thanks from Penny Black. And we're going to use Time to Celebrate, because as you know, the crocodile has a clock inside of him, and that's what alerts Captain Hook to his presence. So that's also what we're going to be stamping on there. Let's see, where did my black ink go? Here we go. So we're going to use our Memento Tuxedo black ink pad, and we are going to stamp our sentiment, Time to Celebrate, because time tick-tock, clock, all that. And we're just going to try our best to get that in the center. Ta-da! Voila. And then what I use to clean those off is a baby wet wipe. And it's all nice and clean and ready to be put back in its package. After that, you're gonna want to ink the edges, and with that I did the, what was that, the key lime color mostly. And you're just gonna run that along the edge using the fine tip because I don't want it to be all over it. I just want it to be a little bit. And I'm just kind of flicking that on the edges like so. And you can kind of see it has a little bit of that lime green on there. And then I also went through with the Oasis Green and just dabbed it on the edges. And I'm literally just dabbing it and letting the pad do the work. And it also kind of blends in a little bit more that way. It's kind of cool looking. And then you're going to also want to pop dot this guy. Let's see, where did my pop dots go? Here we go. And just using approximately like 4 to 5 of these pop dots. You can get larger pop dots. Just trying to use up some of these small ones because we have like a million of them. And just putting them in like so. And then press firmly so that they don't come off, and then take off the backings. I'm in fast forward motion, super fast. Okay, and then you're going to place that just down the center of your card, like that, and just press firmly once again. The next thing I did was took that gold ribbon and I tied 2 knots on each of the ends, literally just knotted them because this stuff frays and I liked the look of it, so I wanted to keep that intact. So I let that fray after I knotted it here. After that, I just did a basic bow at the top and let really long strands hang down because I thought it looked kind of cool. And then I'm going to use one of my new items that we found. These are tacky dot singles. So if you're planning to go somewhere and you don't want to bring like too much with you, these would be really cool to pack because they have a closable top there, just like a little Ziploc. And then they come in these little sheets, which they do kind of get stuck together sometimes, but they're easy to take apart from each other. And it's literally just one individual glue dot, which is really cool. And you just peel off one of the backings and you get your little glue dot. I hope you could see that. Let's see, maybe on the white? Nope. Maybe on my hand? A little bit. And you're just going to place the bow where the knot is in the center and just press firmly on the glue dot and then peel the backing away. Hopefully, there you go. And you can curl the glue dot around the bow itself, and that way not too much of it shows. And then I'm just putting that in the upper left or right hand corner of the topmost banner there, or bunting, so that it hangs down the rest of the card. So there you have it. There is your Disneybounding mini tick-tock the Croc from Peter Pan card. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And check out all the links at the end of this video. I'm going to be showing how to make all of the other Peter Pan Disneybounding cards. And stay tuned for Wednesday's video. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a regular big size card. So definitely stay tuned. I will see you guys next time. Bye!